hate to admit it, they got away from me. Ran out of day, and I didn't run out of things on my list. Got to bed late every night this week so far. Started Saturday night. Actually, yeah, started Saturday night. Early, late to bed, early to rise, and then late every night. I can't do that again. I gotta get this video completed, get to bed. I said get 7-8 hours sleep every night, and I'm not doing it. It's not good for me. I'm not following my protocols. I got to do better. So that's what I'm saying to you. Life gets away sometimes, and you gotta step back and say, what changes do I have to make this work? So this is not going to be as valuable of a vlog. It's not going to be as long. It's going to be in 2 parts. I had it planned out. I just couldn't get around to it. I want to talk about goals that have to do with the lifestyle change that we're talking about, the 180 degrees that we need to change, something that we're working at. And that's what I want to point out is Rhenda and I have, we don't have all the answers. We're certainly not living things perfectly. We've learned a few things. They work. They work fantastic. They work for us. We've seen them work for other people. We want to share them. And that's what this is all about. We realize that it's more than the knowledge. The knowledge is out there. The knowledge has been out there. A lot of confusion about it, perhaps. But it's the getting the motivation to do it. Believing that there are other people who are involved as well, and that we can work with them. Some of it's working through the confusion where there's a lot of incorrect information, misunderstandings, and so well-intentioned people are not succeeding at accomplishing their fitness goals and their healthy goals like they want to. Once again, we don't have all the answers. We believe we're a lot closer than most of what's out there, and we can help people get a lot further along the way, and that's what we're doing. You're watching us during this 180 days as we make this lifestyle change. It's not an overnight thing. I mean, we've worked at this for 8 years, and we're still learning and still making some differences, but we really believe that we can get ourselves to where we need to be. So setting goals is an important part of it, extremely important part of it. And these need to be measurable goals. And so when we're talking about things that can be measured, the big issue that exists is that visceral fat, that stuff here around the abdomen and around your organs. Big problem. And that's the one that we want to be measuring. It doesn't matter how much you weigh. If you can't take care of this visceral fat, the weight's going to go away. It's just part of it. Keep in mind that a lot of your weight is bone and muscle and internal organs and the fluids that are in your body. That's where a lot of the weight is. So you don't want to lose that. Those are the things you need to have and perhaps increase them somewhat. So the visceral fat, measuring that, a lot of ways to do it. Some of them quite expensive, but a practical one is called the waist to hip ratio. And I'm not going to demonstrate that tonight. I'm giving you what I'm going to be doing tomorrow when there's more light and we can show things a lot better on how to do it. But it's essentially measuring around your waist, around your waist, and then around your hips. And you do the ratio of it. For men, the numbers range between 0.9 and 1, and for women, 0.85 is about where you want to be. If you get higher than that, if you got too much, if you get lower than that, it's better to a point. At some point, it's not a good thing. So it needs to be there. And once again, this is a ratio. So if you're off in both places, you may not end up where you want to be. But as you start dropping the visceral fat, it's going to go from everywhere. So the ratio is what you're looking at, not the total body fat that's there. It's an estimation. It's going to give you a drastic improvement. The other thing I want to give you some warning about so that you can get yourself prepared is I want to talk about cardiorespiratory fitness and where you need to be. And I'm going to talk about what's called a VO2 Max, which has to do with the volume of oxygen. And it's a very technical measurement. We're going to go through a practical way to to measure it and then to test yourself against it consistently. Something you can do periodically to see where you stand on your cardiorespiratory fitness. That's important. So that involves walking a mile. It's dark, it's rainy. I'm not going to do that tonight. Hopefully I can get myself, if I get to bed on time, I can get up early, get things moving fast tomorrow, and I'll be able to get taken care of tomorrow. Although from the way it sounds, I may get more rain and it's never going to stop raining. And there's a calculation that goes along with the VO2 to help you come up with what it really means. It's walking, it's no running, it's a mile, it's not 2 miles, so that kind of helps out. Some of the other goals that have to do with me, these are specific to me. The measuring of where you want your VO2 to be, I think everybody wants that to improve for themselves, to where they increase that. Your oxygen consumption, you increase how fast you can walk, so you want to decrease the amount of time it takes to walk a mile, and you want your ratings of preserved exertion to drop as you're walking that mile intensely. So those are things you can measure. Some of them is a little bit subjective, but we're going to work at that tomorrow. The last thing I wanted to talk about was your strength. And no, it's not the last thing. It's the second to the last thing. And I have a couple of goals. One that I've set, it's kind of arbitrary, but it's definitely one I want to do. I want to get to where I can do a handstand push-up. First, I got to get to where I can do a handstand, and I want to do 20 push-ups. Pretty intense goal. I want to get there. The other thing I want to do is to work my way up so that I'm using 20-pound dumbbells as I'm doing my exercising. I want to be able to do 3 sets of the repetitions I have set out to do that 3 times a week. If I can get to that point, I feel as though I can maintain that level. That'll be a good thing, and that's what I'm going to be shooting for. The last is the flexibility, complete daily routine on that. I'm wanting to do that each night before I go to bed. So I'm going to get that lined out and be able to share this tomorrow so we can get all that put together so you can see that. So, kind of a bit of a trailer here to get you excited about some things that we're going to do. But once again, I'm putting things in the right order. I'm not trying to overdo today so I can catch up. A little bit of a limitation here, and that's what I'm trying to communicate is sometimes you do a little instead of trying to do everything so that you can have the whole balance going on, and that's what I'm shooting for. That's the example that I'm giving. So that's what we're going to do. So that's the video for today. Sorry that there's not more and it's not more entertaining. Tomorrow is going to be some real big benefits, so please tune in and see the suggestions for that. If you implement them, it's going to make a big difference for you.